Welcome to episode 54 of Winging It. It's the hope that kills you. Brighton this week, which we're going to build up to a bit later. Saw some very interesting stuff on the BBS, but we'll get into that later. Going to try and whiz through tonight because, Albert, you've had a nightmare journey home.
Yes. Nightmare journey home after a long day out in London, in and amongst the Christmas shoppers, and some of the pubs. And
you've come back with what you've said is the best $8.99 you've ever spent.
Yeah, I you shouldn't buy yourself things around Christmas because somebody might have already got that for you, so you should not. Well, I don't. I suspect that nobody has bought me a mini air horn that comes with a book called blah 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 blah, the history and significance of the air horn. So I thought I'd take a punt and treat myself. $8.99. Why not?
Lovely. Do you want to give it a whirl?
No.
Listener, he hasn't stopped pushing it since he got.
Well, I'm saving the battery. I'm saving the battery now. It's one of those little annoying batteries that I probably don't have a spare of, and who knows how long that will last.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to crack open my beer. You've already got a lovely drink open there, Albert.
Yeah, I've opened a can of tonic and a bottle of gin and combined them to make what I like to call a gin and tonic.
And there it is. I've got a Punk IPA today by Brewdog.
Punk Squirrel IPA.
Very good. Where are we going to start? Botafogo won the league, completing a double.
Congratulations to those punks.
Do we cheer that? Do we boo it? I was kind of here for the choke, to be honest.
Yeah, didn't happen. They did. Weirdly, they were in another cup tonight, which I think was called the Derby of the Americas Challenge Cup, where they lost to a team from Mexico in the bottom three. So I think they got pretty pissed up on the weekend. With Texter, probably there's a nice video of him putting on sunglasses and like doing the old devil horns rock out.
Yeah, that made me choke.
Yeah, well, there is a player from Brazil. We're after another Colombian, apparently, according to the transfer rumour mill. John Arias from Fluminense. Do you know what?
John?
We're gonna John, yeah, but John.
Oh, that's.
I've got to say,
like
if you said we've got three Colombian players and they're called John, Jeffrey, and Daniel, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, but apparently it's a
the Colombian Rod, Jane, and Freddie.
Well, you always get that with Brazilians. You get some weird names, don't you? Like
Fred.
Joan and Fred and stuff like that. Yeah. But it did make me look up what Colombia footballer's nickname is. Any ideas?
What his nickname is?
No, the Colombian football team.
Oh, no.
Los Cafeteros. Because they're known for their coffee. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But maybe this is just John Texter weakening all the competition around Botafogo by just buying all their players. But we shall see.
And plying them with coffee.
Well, I saw Palace had also linked with a player from Lyon. So while joking around about moving all the players around to make money between Botafogo, Lyon, Molenbeek and us, they either listen to the pod or we've tapped into the secret potion.
Well,
I think we've blown this thing wide open.
We have.
Mate, that Lyon player is not funny though, is it really? Because you know where they bought him from last summer, Albert? Molenbeek. Just for the princely sum of 28 million euros.
It's almost like they're not even trying to cover up the paper trail.
Yeah. It's almost like it's fucking corruption.
What?
No, he doesn't
Gentlemen,
do.
you
Listen,
played a good game. It's not your fault, but this is fucking corruption.
if there's one thing that man won't stand for,
It's corruption.
it's corruption and inadequate health and safety in skate parks.
I was going to say, he might not stand for it, but he'd spin around on a skateboard for it.
Yeah.
And maybe one day he can get to Olympic level and join Alex Yee at the Olympics, who, as Crystal Palace fan, been nominated for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. It's pretty nuts, really.
Skateboarder.
No, triathlete.
Oh, sorry.
The segue was decent. I'm afraid we don't have a Palace fan skateboarder as
What, there's Segway in the Olympics as well? Fucking hell.
John Texter definitely owned the Segway.
100%.
100%, yeah, absolutely.
He probably invested in them. Yeah, so good luck to Alex Yee in that. I can't. Who else is in it? Luke Littler, Joe Root. Yeah, can't.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
Um,
to see.
Roy Hodgson?
No. Another. He's not in there. Another manager who won't be in there is Millwall's now ex-manager Neil Harris, who Millwall were like 11th or something. They've done all right at the start of the season. I don't really know what Millwall were expecting. I was like, fucking hell, it seems like a bit of a harsh sacking. And then had to check the internet to see, he called their fans thickos.
Did he?
Yes.
Amazing.
I was like, this might explain it.
Not a great week for Millwall with that and the Greg Wallace revelations.
Yeah.
Greg with 3 Gs.
3G Greg, yeah.
What did Greg do?
Greg Wallace.
Yeah.
Have you been under a fucking rock?
Apparently so.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah. You're not in the demographic at which he had a comment for, though, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Neither me and Albert, though.
Mate.
He's yeah. As Albert said, have a read.
I would not be shocked to find out that he's an absolute wrong-un.
Well, I don't like to give spoilers away.
Okay, fair enough. The reason why I haven't seen it, obviously, I've been too busy reading about Nigel Martin getting promoted to the North Yorkshire Premier League in cricket.
Wait, sorry?
Yes, that Nigel Martin is basically playing semi-professional cricket as a wicket-keeper.
How old is he?
It's got to be 60.
Wow.
I'm going to talk amongst yourselves.
I would say I reckon 60 this year. I'd say he was born in 64.
Can I just check? Hesketh,
He's
you
Albert's
said
second favourite Nigel. Huh?
Does your voice, Farage or EastEnders, does your voice go any higher than when you just said 60?
It probably does, unfortunately. Moving swiftly on, he's 58.
58.
Close.
Well, if you round it up, that's 60.
Exactly.
Which I think was his average of the bat as well, so not bad.
Wow.
It probably wasn't. There he is, Big Nige with the wicket-keeper gloves on.
Same gloves.
Yep.
Same gloves. That's why he was so good. Steve Coppell revolutionised him by putting him in wicket-keeper gloves. Only other bit of, before we get into City, I've got is, fuck me, Dougie dodged a bullet at Man United.
I couldn't believe that. Even for them.
Was he on gardening leave longer than he was actually in role?
Yeah. He was in the job 5 months, apparently. That's mad. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about.
Now, I feel this is more niche than the Greg Wallace thing. So it's my turn to be the one in the dark.
So
not with Greg Wallace, hopefully.
Dan Ashworth.
Yes.
To shine a light. Dan Ashworth, who they spent ages getting out of Newcastle and into Man United.
And several £1 million as well.
Yeah, has been sacked.
That's a strange one. Where was that? A year ago that he was in the job when they did that?
He's been in his current role that he just got sacked from 5 months, apparently.
But he was on garden leave for 6 months before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So we didn't know about that bit.
I wonder when the Dougie to Man U rumours will start to resurface. Do you think that's going to happen? Or the rumours will happen anyway?
No, I doubt it. There's no way someone's going to take that job now. He's going to have to put a yes man in there into that role. Who's going to take it?
Did he come in after the Ineos takeover?
Yeah.
And he's been on gardening leave for 5 months and now just been sacked. No.
He was on gardening leave for ages before he started his job at Man U.
Oh, I see.
Because they had to wait out like the year cycle because he'd done all the scouting for Newcastle. And then he started his job. And 5 months after he started his job at Man U, he got the hoof.
I mean, that's not even 2 transfer windows.
Well, they also decided to keep Ten Hag over summer, then sacked him, then got a new manager in, and then they sacked their director of football. So you sort of wonder if he didn't want him or I don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you see that all the cost-cutting savings they've been making, it was rife around work today because their £100 cash bonus had been replaced with a £40 M&S voucher. So we was like, how dare they paint us in a negative light? But so long may the mess continue, and hopefully one day it will end in relegation. Get fucked. So on to their noisy neighbours then. Man City came to Selhurst on the weekend and come away with a 2-2 draw, although City have lost again tonight to Juve in the Champions League. So probably 2 points dropped. But before we get into the game, I had an interesting day watching from the director's box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Took my boss from work, Man City fan. It was it was really interesting actually talking to my boss, and there was another City fan in the director's box with us as well, who talking to them about City, and they're just not surprised at all. And all the City fans have apparently been talking about it. Their squad's way weaker. There's no depth to it, and you can see. I mean, that Nunez is it, and Savinho, like it's just not City players, are they? They're all right, but they're not like of the quality you'd expect from City. So they fully don't expect don't expect to have 15 wins in a row to come out of the blue and us to challenge Liverpool with. They're just like, it's not happening. But yeah, it was interesting watching it from there. Yeah, lovely view. If you're far enough down front, none of the stanchions or bollards, not bollards, fucking
poles
get in your way.
Columns. So let's call them what they are. Steels, if you want to be more accurate. But
I felt like I could reach out and put some more scratches on Pep Guardiola's head.
Did you?
I did not. No, I was on my best behaviour.
I think the question that we're all wanting to ask is, how was the coolie?
No, it was more of a buffet vibe over here, and it was like, what do I have? Steak, some potatoes.
Steak and tatties, mate.
Yeah, a little bit of veg.
You not got none of that mango shit? No, don't worry about it.
No, but yeah, it was a good vibe. Saw, who did we see? Mark Bright, the owners, their owners, City's owners were there as well.
Were they?
Yeah, so good. I enjoy it for once in a blue moon.
Oh, very good. Hang on. And is that something that you dare I say it? How much did that set you back? Just out of interest.
So, a friend of a friend couldn't make it, who normally sits there. So they do it at sort of face value, and it was 100. That was 110. And then just buy a ticket on the day in there as well. Not on the day, like in a little bit in advance, but the same area was 150. So, yeah.
How many pints of San Miguel did you?
No, your drink's not included in the lounge we were in. Your food's included, but not your drink. It's more that if you want your drink included, you got to go in the 2010 lounge on the Malcolm Allison, and then it's way more than that, I think, particularly on a game by game basis. But if you've got the money, I mean, it's all right. It's nice view. It's cold though. Cold sitting down. A lot of
it was cold. It was cold everywhere on Saturday.
Fair enough. But yes, it only took 3 minutes. You ready? You ready for this, Hesketh?
Yeah. By the way, by the way, by the way, again, I've said it before, Munoz ain't scoring. That's the best one yet. That's fucking brilliant.
Sounds like you've been eaten by a Nintendo, not even a Super Nintendo, just the NES. It sounds like
just
you're
the NES,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just he's got his Hesketh bouncing across the screen like in Duck Hunt or something.
Quack cunt. Hunt. Sorry, quack hunt.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said on the BBS we're becoming the pod of bad predictions. So 2-2 home games for Munoz from right back.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week. Reverse psychology, it works. I'll carry on. He's not going to score again for the rest of the season. He's got his goals out of the way. That's it.
Isn't it our second top scorer for the season now?
Good goal, wasn't it?
I mean, the pass from Will Hughes was delicious.
What was Will Hughes on Saturday?
Well, I think he'd been hanging out with Los Cafeteros. Because he was fucking everywhere.
His nickname in South America is Latte because he's very milky.
Yeah, he was excellent, and obviously came out of the game with 2 assists. But Albert, it was interesting to see the downfall of Carl Walker live in the flesh, because he plays Munoz on the side there inexplicably, really, just way behind the line of play.
Yeah, I mean, in the stadium, I'm in the worst position to sort of see that for what it was, because I'm looking down the barrel from the opposite end. I sit behind the goal in the White Horse, so it's only when I sort of saw it back on Match of the Day, which I did rewind and watch a few times. Yeah, Carl Walker. I think it probably goes to what you were saying about the City fans that you're speaking to. You know, their squad isn't anywhere near what it should be for a team of that stature and their resources, and they're a bit like us. We're a few injuries away from having a slightly past it, certainly not a first or second, third choice player playing in defence. And there's Carl Walker, and as good as he's been, he's just not at that level anymore. And he's there for the taking for the right player, and we sort of sprung the trap very early on and took full advantage of it.
Now, what followed? It's funny because listening to Palace fans talk after the game, everyone would believe that we pissed all over City for the entire 90 minutes and fully were unlucky not to come out with 3 points. But I didn't feel like that, especially sitting next to and discussing the game with a City fan for the entire 90 minutes. We definitely felt like it was a much more balanced game. And Henderson makes an incredible save from Haaland shortly after the goal with his face yet again. Hesketh is becoming his speciality. If it's not his dick, it's his face.
He must have little cartoon birds swinging around his head every game, because he seems to be a magnet for the ball with his face. But it was a good save. He come out really well. I mean, they carved us open pretty well in the move.
The pass behind Chalobah from was it Gay or Chalobah? It was Chalobah, I think. From De Bruyne was sexy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And then when you see Haaland bearing down a goal, you know it's going in. Except for Dean Henderson's head was in the way. So a very good save. He had to be there to make the save, and even if it hit his head rather than his hands, good positioning, wasn't it? So very good.
City hit the post as well with a volley from the edge of the box. We do have a few decent forays into their area, but just sort of get things a little bit wrong. But eventually, it looks like we've got one right, and it drops to Lerma in the penalty area, and a brilliant block prevents him from scoring, and they go up the other end and score. And Albert, it felt like a bit disappointing of a goal to concede. You know, if they score the one where De Bruyne carves us open and gives it to De Bruyne, fine. If they spank a incredible volley from the edge of the box into the bottom corner, fine. But simple cross to the back post and header, it's all a bit easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, for as much as I was in a terrible position for the Munoz goal, I was in prime position to see that they were, they clearly sort of targeted that side. I don't know, I wouldn't say that's necessarily because Munoz is a weakness in defence, but obviously we play him high up and there's space to get in behind him, and it wasn't the first cross that went in that first period, but yeah, that played out right in front of me, and I was in line just to see Haaland. If Haaland headed the ball over, it would have come straight towards me. I was in a sort of perfect line for it, and it's a great header in. It's not the sort of goal that you necessarily associate with Man City. The Haaland chance that got saved, I should say, from the De Bruyne pass. They're the sort of goals you think that you're going to concede against a team like Man City. But yeah, they definitely sort of worked our right-hand side quite a lot in that first half, and eventually it paid off. And it was a shame, really, because, like you say, we definitely imposed ourselves on them and didn't seem to be too afraid of them, which was great. And that goal going in, very, very gradually, we sort of ended up sort of going into ourselves a little bit for the rest of the game. And it was only when we sort of the last quarter of the game, third of the game, that we then, had the belief to try and go and win it again. And I do feel that, and I'm not sitting here and saying I'm disappointed with a point, but it felt like, they're clearly on a bad run of form, and Mateta was really good. He kept their back line really busy, and they couldn't really handle him. And it was like it felt like if we'd have just pushed a bit more, we could have come away with the 3 points, and it wouldn't have been the biggest upset, based on what we saw on the field.
Yeah. Get into the second half, and we could probably. Sarr gets a really good breakaway down the right hand side. Gets away from their players and cuts it back to Eze. Eze is behind him a bit, but another classic Ebbs this season. Mm-hmm. Everything he was tucking away last season just isn't quite sitting right for him. And the chance goes away. And then our man Will Hughes from the edge of the box has a shot that's deflected. I mean, he'd had one in the first half that was blocked. I think he'd slotted Eze through, was just offside when he sort of danced across the area with a brilliant pass to unlock the City defence, and he's just continued the same here. And his shot gets deflected wide, and he picks up his second assist of the game from the corner. It's scoring from corner malarkey. He's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Took a while.
It's easy when you know how.
Exactly. I do love that, being Palace as we are, he takes a lot of good corners, gets one that's right on Max's head, and then Devaney comes on and we take Hughes off corners. You've done too much, mate. It was a great corner. I mean, for all that, obviously, shouldn't be leaving Lacroix on his own in the middle of the box.
Who was it? Who was marking him?
Was it Cole Walker? It was great. I mean, it must have looked good from where you were sat, Albert, but from where I was, obviously, we were sort of, you could see it was going in sort of even before he'd headed it. And he's been brilliant, as we talked about him a lot. Lacroix, and another good performance, I thought, on Saturday. And he'd missed a couple of sort of good chances from corners and crosses. So it was nice for him to actually get one in. And sort of lift his spirits even more, holy spirits, by getting a goal.
Yeah, and it was a great header. Obviously, a pretty simple routine from the middle of the park, and we've just been waiting for him to score from a corner. It was going to come eventually. Known for it in Germany, but then City do come back at us in it. We're going to have to start calling Rico Lewis daddy at this point.
No thanks.
I seem like a genius to my boss because I was like to him, you got any money on Rico Lewis to score? He's like, why would I do that? I was like, because he always scores against us.
Because he's playing Palace.
And he sticks in the top corner. And I think, 3 games in a row now he scored against us. He has 4 professional goals. 3 of them are in the last 3 games against us.
I don't think I've seen him play for City other than against us.
Yeah, good finish. But it was like a nice bit of play. I mean, if you're being overly critical, you can have a go at Chalobah for sort of getting dragged out. But if he didn't go, who was going to go? And it would be harsh as well because I thought Chalobah had a really good game, particularly in the second half. I think he had a really good game. He was wobbly. He was
a little bit wobbly in the first, but we've all sat here and gone. Second half, he was really good.
Yeah, I think he read the game really well. We intercepted a lot, got tackles in, was in the right area a lot of the time, and then eventually is involved in Lewis getting sent off. I mean, Lewis is stupid for getting the booking for mouthing off to the ref in the first case, and then it's hardly gonna. If you then lunge in like that, it's hardly gonna get you any credit from the ref then. But what did you think, Al? Do you think it's a little? I don't want to say it's like stupid that he's lunged in, but I mean, arguably Chalobah does foul him more than he fouls Chalobah.
I don't know. I had the 5 Live commentary on in one ear. Obviously on a bit of a delay, given the fucking signal around Selhurst Park, and again, it's the wrong end for me. So I can see it playing out, and it's like, something's clearly happened, but the commentary and I don't think it was on 5 Live. It was Danny Mills or Shay. I don't know who it was. But they were like, that's really harsh. If anything, Chalobah's caught Rico Lewis with their studs, and and it's like, apparently it's a really fucking harsh second yellow. But when you watch it, Chalobah's caught him with his studs, but it's because Rico Lewis has come flying in late and kicked the bottom of his foot, and it's one of those grey areas. If Rico Lewis's foot is 4 inches higher, then he's ploughing his studs into the side of Chalobah's ankle, and that wouldn't happen if he hadn't lunged in. So I sort of can't, not that I want to give fucking Man City player any sort of sympathy, but even if I wanted to, I can't sit here and say that's an outrageous fucking second yellow. Like I think it's a fair booking. It's obviously compounded by the fact that it's his second yellow, and it's like, well, the first one was only for gobbing off, and that one he's been found. Like, yeah, I have very little sympathy for that decision.
Yeah, it is. As I say, it felt weird, like saying it is because he does lunge in, and if you lunge in, you're just running that risk. And from the stands, it looked bad. Like it looked like that's obviously going to be a second yellow. So
it's like if I throw a punch and miss, I've still tried to punch you. So you sort of all this. Well, if anything, he's been caught with the studs. Yeah, but he's been caught with the studs because he's come flying in like a fucking lunatic.
And also, Chalobah's foot is in the position that it's in because he's just played the ball. So
exactly that.
He's not gone in with his foot in that position. His foot has ended up in that position after having kicked the ball. So, I mean, I think it's a bit harsh in the sense that it wasn't a malicious thing, and he didn't like stamp on him or anything. But I can also sort of see why the ref said, "Well, that's a booking."
Yeah,
and like you say, he's a little rat for mouthing off from the first booking, so fuck him.
Yeah, just before that, Henderson makes a good save for the deflected shot. I think Lerma defends a corner really well at the back post to prevent Haaland scoring. And then we have a little bit of when they go down to 10, we have a little stab, but we just can't get anything right. I think And Nketiah, I mean, I don't want to slag Nketiah off, but
it's hard not to.
I mean, 30 million had another step towards looking like his money thrown down the drain in some of the touches he's had. But, he's coming back from injury. He's thrown in right at the end of the game, expected to be up to speed immediately. Whether you think a £30 million player should be able to do that or not, I don't know. But
I mean, the one there was a couple that got me. One was just a sort of 10-yard pass from Lerma that he miscontrolled and the ball ended up coming back to us, which is bad enough. The one that got me was when we were on a break and he was literally just running in a straight line and he
was running towards
somehow.
Me.
Yeah. And
I'm in the corner.
The air horn. It scared the shit out of him. And but just when he's running in a straight line, I'm like, there's no one pressuring you, and you've just punted the ball to the Man City player. Like I'm not. I don't want to slag him off. It's he's not playing in his position. All the things we said already. But I mean, you shouldn't be having touches like that. You just shouldn't. One was bad enough. 2 or 3 when you're only on the pitch for whatever it was, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Not great, is it?
No. But obviously, then another Will Hughes gets another shot blocked on the edge of the box, and then right with the last kick of the game, and then Doku's breaking away. The time was up. I mean, it was up.
Yeah, that's a fuck off.
Who was it? Liverpool and moan. Was it Liverpool and Newcastle? Can't remember which way around it was. It was Newcastle moaning the other night against Liverpool, wasn't it? They were on the breakaway, but time was up. So, and there's a lot of pitch to go. So, whatever, mate. Yeah, so I'm not going to ask who your man of the match was because the answer's obvious. Who man of the match was? It's given it officially as well. I think he even got an extra special handshake from Pep Guardiola at the end because he just had a really good game. But I'm going to ask the question now. Will Hughes, mate, stop it.
Oh Hughes. Yeah, Hughes. I wasn't saying who. I was saying who's.
Hughes. So instead of asking him man of the match was, if you had to decide player of the year today, player of the season, who's your top 3 candidates?
I think mine are pretty obvious. Hughes is up there.
Yeah.
Lacroix.
Yeah.
I think already. And Hendo.
Yeah,
I think they're my 3.
Yeah. I mean, people won't think it because it's levels, right? And it's what you expect from a player and so on. But Gay really should be in the conversation as well.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's kind of been under the radar good as well. He's just been bobbing along most of the time. Really, really solid games. But yeah, you're right. Henderson, Lacroix, and Hughes would be the shout. Who are you going for, Albert? You think we're missing anyone else off in there as a short list?
Henderson for sure. And then I think it's 2 out of Hughes, Munoz, and my guy. Lacroix is probably up there. Lacroix, Hughes, Munoz, definitely Henderson.
See, I don't think the reason I've not got Munoz in there yet is because he's had a really slow start to the season. He was isolated a lot out there, and he's looks poor at points. I think he's come into it a lot in the last few games and starting to look more like the first 6 months that we had him. But I think in 5 games' time, if he's still playing like he has been in the last few, I think he throws himself up in there. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because everyone, even if it's Hendo, Lacroix, Hughes, and even if it's Munoz, everyone's had a couple of mistakes in there still this season, which have
But that's across the Mark Gahey's fucked up on several occasions. Like it's across the board. We're not where we should be. I was talking to someone today. They're like, "Fucking hell, you lot! What's happened with you lot?" And it's like, well, if you'd have said to me 4 weeks ago, "What's happened to you lot?" I'd have said, "Yeah, we're fucked. We're going down." But there's signs, and we're coming back, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's clicked, but it's getting into a position where hopefully it does click. And there's not been one player that's been a consistent top, performing at 7 out of 10 every week, or minimum 7 out of 10. No one's really done that. It's only really starting to sort of settle down now, and that the results that we've got, probably deserve more against Newcastle. I could make a case for us deserving more against City potentially, and it's
deserve
hopefully
more against Wolves for sure.
Definitely deserve more against Wolves. And it's coming, and that's what happens when everybody's, wavering a little bit between 5 out of 10 and 7 out of 10. Eze's still nowhere near performing where he should be for whatever reason. He's been injured, of course, so I'm not going to sit here and say he's not pulling his weight, but, Wharton's not been in the team. And when he has been in the team, he's been unfit or injured or whatever you want to call it. I think the good thing is we're not in the relegation zone. We're starting to pick up results. And like you say, Wharton coming back, hopefully Eze finding a bit more form. Fuck me, hopefully Nketiah doing something. And then, get to January, to where we are now. Don't be in the bottom three. And we see what happens. No, it's not going to be the season that we all thought it would be based on the run we had end of last year. But, it's just don't fucking go down.
Do you know what, though? And this is why I've called the episode "It's the Hope That Kills You" as we go into Brighton. The upper echelons of the table, points-wise, ain't that far off.
No, it's a mad league.
Because everyone's been losing left, right and centre. No, with you accept Liverpool aside, who are obviously just running away with it, and the couple of teams behind them, the rest of it is just, it's ridiculous. Nobody, a team will have a run of a few games and then they'll be shit for a few games. No more so than Brighton, who we've got this coming weekend, who got spanked out of the blue by Fulham at home. They've drawn at Southampton. They've thrown away a 2-goal lead in the 89th minute away at Leicester, which has seen them slip a little bit. So all of a sudden we go there on the weekend, we beat them.
Yes, please.
We're barely any, but we're only a couple of wins behind them, and it's just all of a sudden, a run of games together. Players are coming back now as well. We're going to have Wharton potentially available this weekend. Got January's not too far away in terms of perhaps being able to add another attacking option to the team. You never know, mate. Europe could still be on.
Oh my God.
And I saw this flavour coming through in the someone put on the BBS. If you offered a point from Brighton now, would you take it? I think like 65% of people in the poll said no. I've got to go for the win, and loads of people saying they're shit. We're in form.
We're in form. 2 draws.
Well, 1 loss in 6. What is it? 4 draw, 1 win, but 4 draws. No, it's true. So we are the draw specialists.
It is weird. Look, I'm just looking at the table now, and it's like Forest are 5th, Brighton are 7th, Bournemouth are 8th, and then 11th, 12th, and 13th for Spurs, Newcastle, Man United.
Yeah,
and there's 5 points between 5th and 12th. So yeah, it's weird. It is a lot more open, like I say, than Liverpool, where, when Brighton are away at Leicester, you're like, they're definitely going to beat them. And in fact, the last I heard of that game was it was 2-0 to Brighton. So I was quite happy to come into the Glazers after the game and see it was 2-2. But yeah, I mean, this game on Sunday is an interesting one. I saw someone's comment saying, apologies to whoever it was on Twitter or Blue Sky, saying like this is the first time both teams have had managers that really play let's go for it football. So this could be quite a entertaining, high scoring game. I'm perhaps not as confident as the people in the BBS, and I would take a point.
No, you're confident it'll be a high-scoring game. You just think we're going to lose 8-0.
Yeah, exactly. Although a lot of my mates who have self-banned themselves from going to Brighton away, including Vanessa, my wife, aren't going. So it's me, Terence, we're going. Have we got an all right record when we go together?
Yeah, I think so. Like
we were definitely together at the 1-1.
The Gallagher
scored.
Oh, every player touched the ball. I'll take that.
Yeah. Maybe that's the only time you and I have actually been together.
I think we were one row apart at the 4-1 last year.
We were.
So I'm not really sure. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting game.
The obvious question, I guess, after having seen us play that well against Man City, do you keep the team as it is? I can't really see, like Doucouré coming in, for example. You just keep the same 11.
No, I thought Lerma had a really good game. I don't. Yeah, Lerma's got to stay in. As long as he's like... you get the impression that they manage Lerma's minutes a little bit. I don't know if it's something to do with his age or whatever, so potentially he might get swapped in and out. And he's still playing international football and going off to Colombia all the time, and they seem to run him into the ground whenever he goes there, and he plays all the minutes. So I don't know. Maybe he
run him into the ground. Coffee.
Fuck, I was just about to make that joke too. Boom.
Well, get off the fence. I think the only change, if someone said to me, "There's a fully fit, all firing Adam Morton waiting in the wings," I think we've got a conversation to have. But no, you don't change that team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's got to be the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with a week's worth of rest thrown in as well. Yeah, I reckon it's got to be that team.
Odds on a Devaney winner?
Oh God, yeah, I think we'd love that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I can. I've had a few sherbets tonight, but there might be a little fiver on that one.
A little fiver on a Devaney winner.
On a Devaney winner.
Take it. I mean, he's getting the time in. He knows he's like Eze's time's being managed, and he's getting 20 minutes at least at the end of every game. So,
wouldn't it be nice if Sunday was a game where the Eze we all know and love bursts out of his shell?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, if you think like a couple of seasons, Southampton away when we beat him 2-0 and he just absolutely tore them apart for 90 minutes.
Them, yeah. That would be great.
Nice. God, we don't have to go back that far for Eze performances, do we? We could have picked some from last season, but they so often involved Elise as well, who, oh my God, did you see his goal in the Champions League last night?
Yeah, it's shocking defending, wasn't it?
They could
just the 7 of them he ran away from before sitting down the goalkeeper.
I'd have sat down if I was that fucking goalkeeper. It's like, why aren't you cunts fucking tackling him? Yeah, I'll sit down. You know what I mean? If you're not going to bother, why should I?
You went on strike 3/4 of the way through the run. Forget it.
Yeah. So what is interesting about the Brighton game, I've got 2 Palace mates who are coming. They don't do away games. They're doing their first ever Brighton away game this weekend with me and Hesketh. And in the WhatsApp group, they was asking what's the plan. So I outlined how the day would go for them. But did I tell any liars, Hesketh, about pretty much ago? It's like, this is what tends to happen. We meet up in Lewis, drink pre-match, then you start to head over to the ground where it'll be a fucking nightmare getting out of Lewis Station.
Yes.
From that point on, you're treated like the scum of the earth. We'll struggle our way down to the away end, watch the game, be held back at full time for half an hour. Then we walk back to the station, and what should be a 10-minute walk would take at least half an hour because we're being kettled. And for half of that, you're getting pelted with objects from Brighton fans. We'll also probably have a big heave-ho pushing match with the police en masse. Was it last year where it was like charge? Yeah. And everyone's just like shoulder barging the police back down the way. Yeah. And then we'll all be crammed onto a football special. Doesn't matter whether you're going south or north or wherever you're going, you're getting on the train. And that's that. All after we've probably been beaten 3-0. Sounds like a great day out, Albert. Where are you?
On holiday.
On holiday. Where's that?
I'm going on the. You know this. I'm going on the Mara and Shamak pilgrimage. Arsenal. Going to Arsenal. yeah. I'm flying to Morocco on Saturday.
Very nice. Lovely. So, got any predictions?
Albert will get sunburnt.
Other than Devaney late winner.
Some sort of tagine. Some dried figs or whatever it is they get over there. No, what do I think? I just keep echoing back to the would you take a point question, and I'm desperately trying to not say yes I would in the spirit of Christmas and like I say I've been a bit pissed. So I'm gonna go 2-1 and I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a Devaney winner. Scenes in the away end. Knuckle dusters everywhere.
Apparently. Knives and knuckle dusters, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Apparently. Oh, gutted I missed that day. I was in Mexico on Le Honeymoon.
Is that meant to be? No, it's fine.
I was drinking Dos Equis at like
Yes.
the early
How
hours of
many?
the morning. Dos Equis. Por favor. Yeah, not disappointed at missing that one, to say the least. What about you, Hesketh? What are you going for?
Oh, I just can't see us winning. I know that this is my thing and I'm miserable all the time. But hearing everyone be really positive and say, oh, we're on the up, they're on the down, we're going to do them. I think they'll beat us 2-0.
Are you talking about Brighton or?
Sorry.
It was a bit, and when they were up.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to be way more positive, but you know me, I'm not.
Crystal Palace 2, the Grand Old Duke of York 0.
Okay, I'm gonna go for an optimistic nick it by the odd goal in a 5-goal thriller.
Oof.
Oh, mamma mia!
Is that with a Devaney winner? Or is that just anyone winner? Lewis Duncan goal winner?
Oh, Lewis Duncan goal would be the dream, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah. Do you know Lewis Dunk is in the top 10 most offsides per 90 minutes this season?
What?
That's exactly. I was like, hang on, what is he doing in this list? But
He's so slow getting back from a corner or something.
exactly. God knows what he's doing. But yeah, as long as he doesn't fucking score again like he did last year.
That's what I'm worried about.
Right in front of us. But no, but we'll take it if anything we can get. I think I'll take a point, to be honest. But given we are the draw specialists, right, that's it. Next week is Thursday. We're going to record because it'll be after the Arsenal game. Albert's obviously shaking his head, doing
Or he wants to kill us. One of the. When are you back from Morocco, Albert?
Whenever I fucking fancy it.
Fine.
Well, in that case, then you're taking your laptop. The 22nd.
Yeah.
Who signed this off? I don't remember seeing this holiday request.
Joe shouldn't be signing that off.
Check your emails, mate. Check your emails. The holiday request form came in.
Okay. So it's only one show, isn't it?
You'll be missed, Albert.
That's me. That's me before Christmas, isn't it? Merry Christmas, all.
Merry Christmas, one and all.
Yeah.
Can we get a Merry Christmas, please? Is that possible? Have you mislaid it already?
No, I'm just seeing if I've got any jingle bells to. No, I just have to be the.
Lovely. So I'll reach out to Carl for next week and see if he can come on.
Listen, I'm sure he'll do a job. He'll do a job.
He'll do a job.
Our job.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Apologies in advance, listeners.
Wow. Yeah. Just imagine that by the time we speak to you next, we've picked up 3 points at Brighton and we're into the semi-final of the League Cup. That's the world we could be living in on this podcast next week.
Let's hope the air horn is fresh battery on that show.
You'll be in Morocco, finding ways to get on.
Yeah.
But okay. Anyway, look, thanks for listening. Looking forward to this weekend. Say it quietly. And yeah, hopefully we're coming back next week in amazing spirits. And until then, up the Palace.